Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Matside here at Medina High School. It's time for the Medina Invitational Tournament, one of the more prestigious tournaments in the state of Ohio. They've been doing this for 38 years now. This is year number 38 for the M.I.T., the greatest show on earth, as they call it, and we've got a lot of great wrestling action here for you. No Central Ohio wrestlers in the finals for this particular tournament. Lakewood St. Ed's is in first place. Massillon Perry is in second place. They'll battle it out here for the championship. I'm Ryan Mitchell. Eric Loveman to my side here. And Eric, our first time working together. Thanks for being with us.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure. And it's an honor to be with you.
This, of course, is not your first rodeo here at Medina.
Not exactly. I graduated from this school, not this building, but Medina Senior High School 52 years ago.
And some history on the wrestling team here as well.
I was on the very first Medina wrestling team, post-war. I don't know what they had prior to World War II, but in 1958 they started wrestling here. A lot of schools in this area started that same year, so we wrestled mostly first-year schools. And I was a junior that year. And I was the very first Medina wrestler to win a tournament, actually, by virtue of the fact that I was the lightest of the three champions in that tournament.
Ah, well, there you go. It's always good to be low man on the weight totem pole, so you get to be first in a lot of things.
Many pounds ago.
That's right. Well, this tournament here obviously started 38 years ago and has grown to great heights. At one time, it was considered one of the top tournaments in the entire country.
Oh, absolutely. It's the granddaddy of high school holiday wrestling tournaments. They call it the greatest show on earth or greatest show in wrestling for a good reason. It's spectacular. And we got some statistics for you, Ryan.
Lay them on me.
And for the folks at home, we have 11 nationally ranked wrestlers in the tournament. 13 of them have committed to college at the beginning of the season. There are 26 returning M.I.T. placers. There were 10 state champions in the tournament, but 2 of them got bumped out. So we got
that'll happen here.
Yeah. So we got 8 in the finals. One of which actually was a state champion, not this past season, but the previous.
Previous to that.
Don't know what happened to him. He's from Michigan, but 8 altogether that have won state champions. Something very interesting this year, we have 2 high schools that were state champions in Division I in their respective states. Of course, Lakewood St. Edwards here in Ohio, and from Michigan, Detroit Central Catholic won the Division I state championship. And that's quite a school. As we go through the tournament, we can talk more about that school. They were the champions last year in the tournament when Lakewood St. Edwards didn't participate. So we're looking for a great session here, the finals, and I think it'll be very interesting.
There should be a lot of great action here, so stick around, grab some chips, grab something to drink, sit down on the couch, and enjoy Matside from the Medina Invitational Tournament.
Tougher to train during the break. There's too much time on their hands. It's not as structured. It's easy to go to the refrigerator, I guess. So I know it's easy for me, but the structure is really good, and it helps our kids quite a bit. It helps all the kids.
How important to your program from youth on up are the assistant coaches that you have?
Oh, they're unbelievable. To get the kids started at a young age, to get them to enjoy the sport, to get them to learn the intricacies of the sport, and whether they really like it or not, it's really special. It's you have to have a great youth program.
Looking at this tournament here today, you have 5 in the finals, and it's never a coincidence. When you look at a team and you see who they have in the finals, more often than not, they're going to be grouped together, and that shows you where your workout partners are in the room.
Yes. Traditionally, that's it. And I took a look at the pairings for the different weight classes and that, and you take a look at the other schools, the same thing. great workout partners, push each other, and it's pretty tough to be like a lone ranger out there. You need partners. You need, and that's one of the big keys at St. Ed's High School. We have a lot of good kids that push each other to make everybody better.
I know with as many people on the top of the podium as you guys have had throughout your history over there, it's got to be tough to sort of judge one team against the others, but I'm going to ask you to anyway. The 2012-13 version of the Lakewood St. Ed's wrestling team, how does it stack up with some of the greats that you've had?
I'll give you Coach Heffernan's answer because he's much wiser than me. We haven't had the state tournament yet. We're only had part of the way through the season. We'll see what happens.
How does your schedule test you guys for the state tournament? Because obviously, that's in Ohio, that's the most prestigious thing. But you go to a place like the Walsh Ironman, where everybody's a state champ, it seems like, on every line. That's a tougher tournament probably to win than the state tournament, but that's the ultimate goal at the end of the year.
Exactly. We make that a priority. The state tournament is our goal. That's the second week of the season, the Ironman. So he brings them. John does a great job running our program and bringing the kids along, peaking them for the state tournament.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks a lot for being with us. Good luck.
Thank you very much for covering wrestling.
All righty. All right, we are here with Coach Dave Riggs of Massillon Perry, currently in second place before the finals here at the Medina Invitational Tournament. Coach, thanks for being with us. And if you would, sort of run us through how your tournament has gone, and have you met, exceeded, or failed to reach expectations to this point?
Well, I think our guys are trying their hardest at this point. We can improve on some technique. We met head-to-head with some of the top teams here, and our technique can improve a little. But overall, with our effort, I'm pretty happy with our guys.
You talk about the head-to-head, and I kind of looked through the bracket there, and a lot of that comes down to seeding. And when you talk about it, when I was coaching in high school, seating criteria didn't exist. You got into a room, the coaches put their guy up there, and you argued about who went on what line. When the criteria is in there, what is this? Is there even a seed meeting anymore where you really do much discussion?
No seed meeting at this point. It's they have their criteria: state champ, same weight, different weight, placer.
So basically, take care of your business, and you'll get where you need to be.
Pretty much.
So you come in second place. You've got 3 in the finals. St. Ed's, who you're chasing, has 5. Obviously, that puts a lot of pressure on the guys in the center mat and really on the outside mats, too, to try and make up those points.
Yeah, we have 6 going for third and 1 for fifth. We can score some points, but the semifinals is the tournament.
Right.
That's where the big points fly, and you can see where they land. And we've been short on that the last couple of years. We've been runner-up in the state of Ohio 8 times in the last 10 years and third twice. So we know what it's like to take second. But you look at Eds. I mean, they do a lot of great things for kids, and we're doing the same. And, this year we match up really well. It'll be fun in a duel. Obviously,
as you were mentioning, all those runners-up finishes, it can be a bit frustrating, but when you look at who you're finishing in second place, too, sometimes you think, well, maybe it's they're playing a little bit of a different game, but this is a team in Perry. I know there have been, you go back a few years and they thought, is this the year? When you talk about guys like Steve Luke and you talk about the Schlater that was up there, just trying to close that gap. How difficult is that gap? Because, like you said, you compete right along with these guys, but it always seems like maybe there's 1 or 2 weight classes away.
That's up to us. I don't know, we have a great attitude. We're going to do the best we can. And being a public school, it's amazing what we've done. We help kids, and we just have a passion that's unbelievable. And I've been doing this for quite a few years, and I still am very hungry for it. And I sized it up even at over dinner tonight, put us on paper again in a duel coming up. And, if our guys perform well, we're right there.
In Northeast Ohio, it seems like wrestling is more culturally, socially ingrained than it is in the rest of the state. And growing up in high school, it seemed like Division III, more Northwest Ohio. Division II, there were a lot of good Central Ohio teams. In Division I, it was all up in the Cleveland area.
Yeah.
Talk about the community involvement and the passion for wrestling in the Northeast.
It's great. We travel an hour somewhere and we get all the wrestling we want. You don't have to make the big trips. Although 4 days ago, we were in the state of Delaware, representing Ohio, and 102 teams, and we finished third. And it's a number 2 ranked tournament in the country. We went to the first one, the Ironman. We entered this tournament with 2 guys losing records and knocked off the number 3 seeds right away. So, it's about our competition. And, Northeast Ohio, we have a lot of respect for. There's outstanding coaches throughout the whole state. And, we respect what they're doing, and we take it very serious when we get to the state tournament.
The state tournament obviously is the end of the year goal, but there's also, you talked about the tournaments that you get into, trying to prepare yourself for that end of the year tournament. Is there almost when you run through those tournaments, like you mentioned in the Ironman here locally, is there almost a letdown towards the end of the year as far as the competition? Because in those tournaments, you cannot take a round off, whereas in the state tournament, the top-level guys, there's more of a spread, seemingly, from the guys who are going to wind up in the quarters to the guys in the first round.
Well, you never know what happens. I mean, we take it very serious, and, the state tournament, it's always been difficult for us. Like I said, even though we finished second 8 times, we were ranked top 10 in the country 3 of those times. And, we're really fortunate to have St. Ed's in our state to help prepare us. It's always a goal to win a state title, but what we're doing with kids, we have 10 kids in college this year on scholarship. And that has a lot to do with why we're, have such a strong passion. Absolutely, when you're helping kids. We do like to put ourselves in a position to win a state championship. It's not an easy thing, but it's definitely doable.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck the rest of the season. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me.
All right.
Welcome to Matside with Bob Dealey, our Flashback series. I'm Rick Baker. If you've been with us during previous broadcasts this summer, welcome back. If you're new to the broadcast, we want to welcome you. My job will be to give some information about the wrestlers that are in the finals of the Medina Invitational Tournament. So basically, I'm going to be flashing forward. I'm going to let you know what they've done collegiately, and if I have the information, I will go ahead and provide that, what they're doing currently. So with that in mind, sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and let's watch some outstanding wrestling. Let's go Matside. At 120 pounds, we have Nate Tomasello from CBCA versus David Baverly from Maslin Perry. Nate was the 25th OHSAA state champion. He is currently a redshirt senior at Ohio State University, and he has earned All-American status the past 3 years. David was a 4-time placer, 2-time state champ in 2012 and in 2014. He had an outstanding record of 171 and 25. Currently, he is a senior wrestler at Notre Dame College. He earned All-American status in 2017. He is also a teammate of Central Crossing's Cameron Teacher.
So, Ryan, at 120, 2 state champions. Senior Nathan Tomasello from CVCA, Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. State champion last year at 113 pounds. And his opponent, number 2 seed, David Bavery from Maslin Perry. Champion last year at 106. So this should be quite a match.
Bavery was 7th at the Ironman earlier this year. Tomasello won that tournament. That was his 3rd Ironman championship. He is the top-ranked wrestler in the nation at his weight class.
And he's committed to Ohio State.
Going to be a Buckeye. They've got a big incoming class. Tomasello in on a high C. Boy, he makes it look easy. He is wrestling a very tough David Bavery here from Perry. Takedown 30 seconds in. Larry Lester, of course, you mentioned, one of several now 4-time state champions in the state of Ohio. When he injured his leg in that championship,
that was his senior year.
That was his senior year, and as a coach, obviously you want your wrestler to win, but on the other hand, nobody had ever not won when they were going for their 4th state championship. It has never happened in the state of Ohio until last year. Felipe Martinez did not wrestle at the state tournament after winning his first 3 years
That must have been
for
tough.
Genoa area schools. So he obviously became the first man with an opportunity for a 4th state tournament to not win it.
Sure.
Tomasello issues an escape and quickly in on a takedown.
About 20 years ago, when I was director of the Ohio Junior National Team, Harry Lester was, I think 7th or 8th grade. He was on our cadet team. And a fun little guy.
He's had a long and storied career, gave up, didn't compete at the national level in college because he wanted to focus on the Greco-Roman wrestling. Several-time Greco and freestyle national champion.
He was favored to go to the Olympics this year, but didn't quite make it.
Tomasello, with 15 seconds remaining, looks content to ride this period out and take a 4-1 lead into the second. 10 seconds remaining now. Willie Weinberg became your first 4-time state champion in the state of Ohio, and there have been a bevy since.
I saw that match.
Period comes to a close. There was a lot of controversy in that match as to whether or not there was a locking hands that a lot of people said they saw that could have changed the outcome. That was an overtime match, I believe. I believe the locking hands, quote unquote, occurred in overtime, which would have ended the match.
You've got a great memory.
He was right. That might have been the very first year. I can't remember if that was 93 or 94. I believe it was the first year they had instituted the criteria overtime, top and bottom.
Now, Willie was the first Division I state 4-time state
Yes,
champion.
excuse me, first Division I 4-time state champion. Tomasello in on a takedown, up 6-2 in this match. Up until that time, I believe it was just sudden death, first takedown wins in overtime, and they would do 2-minute periods, and then they came up with an overtime period, and then a coin flip to determine who would get to choose, top or bottom. If the top man rode the bottom man for 30 seconds, he was the winner. If the bottom man got out, he was the winner. I believe Weinberg was on top, and a lot of people said he locked hands while he was on there, which would have ended the match, but if the referee doesn't see it, it doesn't happen.
Probably why they have 2 referees.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just over a minute remaining here in the second period. Nathan Tomasello on top 6-2. He has controlled the action throughout. Bavery of Massillon Perry. We talked about that they're trying to chase down Lakewood St. Ed's. They got a victory at 106 pounds from Jose Rodriguez. But here at 120 pounds, it looks like Bavery is facing a much tougher task.
Last year, Tomasello had a 47-0 record, and Bavery was 46-3.
Tomasello will join Bo Jordan on the Ohio State wrestling team coming into next year. Boy, they have a young crop of talent there wrestling for Tom Ryan.
Is Bo the son of Jim Jordan or Jeff Jordan?
Boy, you put me on the spot.
That's why you're...
Let's say Jay Jordan.
Okay, Jay Jordan, for sure. Other multiple state champions, I think.
Yes, brothers, both, yes.
Four-time state champions.
Both wrestled at Wisconsin.
Now we see Jim Jordan on TV quite often.
Yes, indeed.
As a
representing.
Yeah, U.S. representative.
Second period comes to a close. Tomasello up 6-3. He's got the choice, and he'll take neutral to begin the third. Tomasello sporting a shiner under the right eye.
People may have forgotten Jim Jordan was an assistant coach at Ohio State.
Yes, he was.
Before he went into politics.
He was a clinician at a lot of the camps and clinics that I attended.
Wonderful wrestler.
Yeah, when they name a single leg after you, that means you're pretty good.
Oh, he was good.
Tomasello deep in on a shot here. Bavery tries to fend it off to no avail. Another takedown, 8-3 the score now. Thoroughly dominating performance here by Nathan Tomasello of Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. Talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes and the young talent there, the Steber brothers, Cam Tesseri, their high school teammate at Monroeville. Nico Trigas back in the lineup at 125 this year. Boy, that's an exciting wrestler right there. He is unbelievable on top, sometimes a bit frustrating because he's so good on top. Sometimes he's not as good on his feet, and if you can't get the takedown, it's tough to wrestle from the top position in college.
Yep, that's true.
Stall warning, that time on Tomasello. Wasn't doing enough for a referee's liking. I'll restart. Big duel coming up with Iowa for Ohio State after the new year. They finally snapped last year. Was it a 30-year drought at the hands of the Hawkeyes? Ohio State beat them in Columbus. This time they have to go to Carver Hawkeye Arena. That's a bird of a different color.
Oh, that's quite a crowd there.
Takedown and escape, 24 seconds remaining.
The most rabid fans in the nation right there in that.
What do they have? 16,000 in there a couple of years ago for the Iowa-Iowa State duel when Cale Sanderson was still coaching for the Cyclones. Boy, nice slide by there by Tomasello into a takedown. He's up 12-5 now with the clock ticking down. He'll ride this one out. Doesn't get the major, a 7-point win for Tomasello. He'll take it. He is your champion at 120 pounds for the Medina Invitational Tournament. 3 weight classes in. Tomasello, top-ranked wrestler in the nation, and he is the champion.
At 126 pounds, Ken Beatty from Detroit Catholic Central. Ken was an outstanding wrestler for Detroit Catholic Central. He started at the University of Pennsylvania in the fall of 2013. He went on and wrestled at the Penn Regional Training Center and then returned to Pennsylvania in 2017. Cody Bircher from Claymont. At Claymont, he was a 2-time state runner-up. After graduation in 2014, he enrolled at OSU. He was an NCAA qualifier in 2017, and currently he is a redshirt junior.
And Ryan, that brings up the 130-pound weight class. As it is.
Bircher in the brown singlet.
He's a junior.
Bade in the blue.
Bade is a senior.
Bircher goes right at him, and you get stretched out like that, and that's not a good place to be.
Trying to suck it in.
Trying to turn the opposite corner here, Bircher. Still down on his knees. Bade doing a good job keeping that knee on the ground. And he'll get the stalemate. Bade really not tested in his trek to the finals. A pin followed by another pin, followed by a third, and then a major decision in the semifinals, a 20-6 victory over Austin Phillips of Perry.
Bircher, I think it is, had 2 interesting matches. 2 pins under 40 seconds. One at 32 seconds and one at 36 seconds. Not much competition there. Then he won by score 7-1, and in the semifinals, 9-0.
Bade in on a shot. We've got a scramble situation here with the clock at 50 seconds. Plenty of time, but not enough room as they go out of bounds.
No score. $50 seconds to go.
Bade trying to duplicate the feat of his teammate Trevor Zadebski, who wanted 113 pounds. Bircher trying to avoid the fate that befell his teammate Tyler Warner at 106. He fell to Maslin Perry's Jose Rodriguez. 14 seconds remaining, and now Bade is in a good position to maybe sneak a takedown. He'll get it right before the end of the period. Now down to 5 seconds left. He's got a cradle locked up. Can he get any points out of it? Yes. A 1 count, no 2 count from the referee, so no points will be awarded there. I tell you what, they had fought to a stalemate for most of the first period, but the last 10 seconds saw almost 4 points for Ken Bade. Instead, he gets 2. Bade will start on bottom. Bircher's got a leg wrapped way around.
That's his own leg that he had there.
Yep. Well, he's trying to hold on for dear life because his hips got so low. Bade has a hold of the leg now. And he's going to try a sort of a modified Peterson there, but didn't follow through on it. Instead, he'll shoot the hips and look for a reversal. Bircher again hanging on for dear life, but Bade able to clear the arm for the 2-point reversal. Now we'll see what he can do from the top period, from the top position rather.
One minute left in the second period, right? Scores 4-0.
Bircher, state runner-up last year at 106. He was a district champion. Also a runner-up 2 years ago.
Put on a little weight. He was 106 for 2 years in a row and jumped up to 130 this year.
Hit that growth spurt. Not quite to the extreme of a Tommy Rowlands, who started off very, very light and wound up as a heavyweight.
Yes.
National champion for the Buckeyes.
I remember Tommy when he was under 100 pounds.
Bade continues to ride here with 30 seconds remaining in the second period, up 4-0 on Cody Bircher. The name of the Iowa heavyweight that Tommy Rowlands battled with tooth and nail escapes me at the moment.
Steve
Mako. Steve Mako had a great foot sweep.
Yeah.
2 seconds remaining in the period. And again, Bade trying for some late back points. Couldn't quite come up with them. Bade dancing around, trying to show his conditioning superiority here. As they head to the third period, Bade leads 4-0, and it'll be Bircher's choice. He'll take neutral. He doesn't want any part of being underneath of Ken Bade here in the third period if he can help it. Bade stalking it. Slide by into a shot for Bircher. Bade turns it away into a shot of his own, nearly an ankle pick. And now a blast double. Can he finish in bounds? The toes are in. The points are...
2 points. 6-0. 1 minute and 37 seconds left in the match.
Bob Dealey would say great chain wrestling there. From one move into another. Sequential
I
wrestling.
think was one of his favorite
Yes,
words.
indeed. Bade issues the escape. He's up 6-1. Bircher in on a double leg with his head buried beneath. Now he tries to get the corner. A trip.
2 points.
Deep whizzer by Bade, and he's going to turn that into points of his own.
Wow.
Bad neighborhood for Bircher here on his back. Takedown has been given. Couple were back points awarded. Nope, they were each single counts by the referee. 8-1 is the score, just over a minute remaining. And Bade wants to give the escape. A rule change a couple of years ago. The top wrestler at a stoppage can just tell the referee, I want to go neutral, so they don't have to go through the pageantry of the set position. Boy, another quick takedown there by Bade.
And that shows you why you want to keep driving. When you're going for the legs, you don't stop moving until you get the takedown.
And Bade now just wants to pour it on. Issues another escape. He's up 7 points. Catholic Central, they know where they're at in the standings, and they know how much bonus points can help things out here. And now Bircher in on a takedown. That's really going to put a crimp in the bonus point plans for Ken Bade.
Makes it score 10-5.
Yep. 5-point match takes 8 points to get a major decision. A 15-point win will get you a tech fall. That'll get you another 1.5 in tournament play.
Bircher's just a junior. He'll have a chance to come back next year.
Yeah, he's an accomplished wrestler, very, very well-rounded, but Ken Bade has put his stamp on this match. Bade up by 5. Gets a leg out. Rather than an escape, he'll go right for the reversal, and he gets it. Up 7 points, needs one more for the major, trying to let Bircher go so he can get another takedown. And the escape, no, not an escape, but instead a stalling warning and a point awarded, so he'll get the major decision either way. An 8-point victory, 13-5, and there's your winner, Ken Bade of Detroit Catholic Central. And that's heads-up refereeing right there. I'm not gonna take anything away from the referee. He realized the situation, knowing that Bircher was holding on to avoid being let up, hit him immediately with that stalling.
At 132 pounds, we have Nick Boggs from Riverside, Michigan. Nick was a 3-year captain at Riverside. He was a high school All-American in 2014, and he had a record of 148-31. He attended Lake Erie College. He earned All-American honors in 2017, which would have been his junior year, finishing 5th in the Division II Nationals. He is studying criminal justice. His opponent, Sean Williams from Bedford. Sean actually played 3 sports while at Bedford High School. During the wrestling season, he set the record for takedowns and pins in his school. After graduation in 2014, he went to Baldwin Wallace in the fall to play football. Unfortunately, an injury cut his career short. I believe he majored in business management.
Yep. That's a good call. Good call. Now this next match is going to be interesting. Very interesting. We're going to see our only unseeded wrestler, Nick Boggs of Riverside, who totally unseeded. His opponent is the number 8 seed, Sean Williams of Bedford. Neither one placed in the state last year. Sean Williams did take 5th in his district, so Boggs knocked out the number 1 seed in the quarterfinals, I believe it was. Yeah, in the quarterfinals.
Williams in the green singlet, Boggs in the white. Yeah, looking at this match, it's the only finals without a top 4 seed wrestler. Now at 106, we had Tyler Warner, the 10th seed wrestling, but he was taking on the 2nd seed, Jose Rodriguez. No scores, they go out of bounds.
And we haven't seen a pin yet in the finals.
No, indeed. The matches have been fairly dominated by the champion. Rodriguez just rode. No. Back to action here after some blood time. Still a scoreless match, 1 minute into the first period. Nick Boggs and Sean Williams doing battle for the 132-pound championship at the Medina Invitational Tournament.
I wonder how often an unseeded wrestler has won the championship in this tournament, Ryan.
Well, when you talk about the criteria, and I don't know how long they've used it, but I'm sure there have been some freshmen that have come along that didn't have the bona fides to be seeded.
Good point, yeah. Very objective criteria that they use in determining the seeding in this tournament.
Scramble situation here. Neither wrestler able to get the better of it as of yet. But now Boggs turns in And he's got his man on his back. Williams is flat situation with 24 seconds remaining.
20 seconds.
This is the closest we have seen to a wrestler in danger of being pinned so far in these finals.
And it's an unseated wrestler doing it. 10 seconds.
Boggs not able to get the chin on the shoulder there. Clock down to 2. And we're not going to have a pin here either. But boy, a 5-point move there in a scramble for Nick Boggs. And Sean Williams now points-wise has a hill to climb. And it'll be Boggs' decision for position in the second period. He'll take down. Williams of Bedford. Unable to keep his man on the mat. And out of bounds they go, so Boggs will start back down. Five to nothing your score. Boggs on top, as you said. Unseated wrestler here.
Now the freshmen you were talking about, we usually see those in the lightest weight classes, like the 106 or possibly the 113. But this is 132. These are both juniors. Again, Sean Williams from Bedford is the 8th seed.
Actually, I think there's a correction on that. I believe on the tournament sheet here, it has him as the 6th seed.
Oh, that was because they had a couple of
scratches at the
scratches, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Scratches.
After the escape, Boggs is up 6-0. Just over 1:10 left here in the second period. The pace of this match has slowed considerably, and they go out of bounds. Williams did not have to beat a seeded wrestler to get to the finals. Boggs beat the top seed, Nick Berg of Richmond, in the quarterfinals, and then the 5th seed, Andy Dobbin of CVCA, a 4-2 victory in the semis to earn his way here to the championships. So 132 did not play out like anybody had envisioned.
Nobody could have imagined this based on the objective criteria that they use for the seeding anyway.
Second seed, Nick Durio, who we saw last week for Westerville North, a junior, lost his first contested match to St. Edward's senior, Hunter Leidner. Third seed, Caden Herron of Clay, went down in his first contested match as well. He moved on with a first-round bye. Out of bounds they go with 12 seconds remaining in the second period. Still 6-0. Nick Boggs way up on top by virtue of a 5-point move and a scramble in the first period. Williams had to fight off of his back for about 27 seconds to avoid a pin.
Looks like a stalemate.
Yes, indeed.
But the time ran out.
Period comes to a close. It'll be Williams' choice to start the third, and he'll take down to try and get himself on the scoreboard here. No caution, just a false start based upon a whistle on the adjacent mat. Now we're underway. We've not seen much from Boggs on the top position because from the scramble he went right into an airlock, so that work was done for him. High hips there for Boggs, but he's in pretty good position right now with Williams flattened out. There's not much action going on right here, and now we will get a stall call on the bottom end. I was just about to say that both wrestlers are in a position where if they try to do too much one way or the other, they put themselves in jeopardy of being in bad position. So a lot of times the referee will allow some of that to play out. Williams might get hit again here for stalling. Just got his elbows kind of in at his sides, preventing Boggs from working the head and shoulder area. He's going to work it now. Finally worked his left arm under the shoulder, and now they're going to call the top man for stalling. It was making it look good anyway.
he was moving a lot, but he wasn't going anywhere.
I think I'd prefer to see a stalemate in that situation. Both wrestlers warned for stalling now. Williams gets to his feet, gets out, and he's on the board.
Avoids a shutout.
That's right. Still down, though, 6-1. Good front headlock position for Williams. Got his head on the wrong side to score, though. Now he adjusts.
30 seconds.
132-pound championship. Clock winding down. 10 seconds remaining. Williams going to come up with something here. And with under 5 seconds left, he's not going to get it. 6-1 is going to be your final score. Nick Boggs, the unseeded junior from Riverside, is your 132-pound M.I.T. champion.
And I was going to say, up until that match, the top-seeded wrestler has won every match, but it certainly didn't take place in this match. Boggs was unseeded, as we've said many times, defeating the number 6th seed.
Turns out to be the winner.
At 138 pounds, Nate Henke from Richmond, Michigan. Nate finished third in the state in the Michigan State Tournament in 2012 and 8th his senior year in 2013. Amazingly, Nate suffered an eye injury early in life and only could see out of his left eye. I really wish that I knew where he was attending college at this point. His opponent was Colin Heffernan from St. Ed's. Colin graduated in 2013 from high school. I believe he took a red shirt year in 2013-14 at Central Michigan University. In 2014-15, he qualified to the NCAA championships. In 2015-16, he was 18-7, and in 2017, he had another outstanding season. He's currently a senior at Central Michigan University. Also, just as a side, his father was an outstanding wrestler at Iowa, and his uncle Jim is the head wrestling coach at Illinois, at the University of Illinois.
The winner.
Ryan, at 138 pounds, we have, as I mentioned before, a number 1 and a number 2 seed that started wrestling out there with a quick takedown. We have Nate Henke, number 1 seed from Richmond High School in Michigan. His opponent from St. Edwards, the first St. Edwards wrestler that we've seen in the finals, Colin Heffernan from the Heffernan Dynasty, number 2 seed. These are both seniors.
As you said, Heffernan in on a quick takedown there, a roll-through scramble, and we're going to find ourselves back to neutral with Henke earning the escape. It's the first St. Edwards wrestler in the finals, but not the last. We'll have a few of them here in a row.
4 more of them, yeah.
Another takedown for Heffernan. Heffernan on his way here to the finals beat the 7th seed, Nathan Salmon, with a technical fall. And then in the semifinals, beat the 3rd seed, Isaac Bast of Perry, by just a 1-0 decision.
They don't get closer than that.
They don't, and it also goes a long way toward the team point score. Perry is chasing down Lakewood St. Ed's for the team championship. They're quite a ways off now. We've seen already 2 of the Perry wrestlers in the finals. The winner at 106 pounds, Jose Rodriguez, and David Bavery at 120 fell to Nathan Tomasello.
They have 1 more coming up.
Those head-to-head matches make an awful lot of difference.
Nate Henke, the number 1 seed from Richmond in Michigan. Was third in the state last year at 135 pounds. His opponent, Colin Heffernan, the number 2 seed, senior at St. Ed's, was fourth in the state last year at 120.
Going to get an escape here for Hankey. Very nearly stuck Heffernan on his back. Heffernan in on another takedown attempt, but time will run out before the points can be awarded.
So 6-3 at the end of the first period.
Hankey wins choice, defers, and Heffernan will take neutral.
Heffernan in the black singlet, the Iowa-style singlet.
Yep. And he quickly scores himself another takedown. And he will issue an uncontested escape to go back to their feet. Hankey had the shot on that last exchange. Heffernan with a very quick sprawl was able to adjust to it. Well, you mentioned that black singlet and that St. Ed's warm-up in uniform. That's worth a couple of points before the match ever starts.
That's true.
There's so much attached to that name that even if you're wrestling a freshman from St. Ed's you've never heard of, there's an intimidation factor going out on the mat.
Yep.
The same is true of a school like Massillon Perry or Walsh Jesuit.
They have their A team here at this tournament, but they had a B team wrestling in Central Ohio yesterday.
Another takedown for Heffernan, up 10-4. And he will issue the escape. 45 seconds remaining, a 10-5 match. Heffernan in firm control. Hankey trying to pick up the pace here. And for his efforts, he's trying to fend off another takedown. And he cannot.
12-5.
Heffernan, 6 takedowns with still 30 seconds left in the second period against a top-seeded wrestler. He's on a mission.
And now Michigan is a tough high school wrestling state, but probably no match for Ohio overall.
No, top to bottom. They've got a few teams that can hang with most. And some individuals that are as good as anywhere. And, of course, the University of Michigan, they've been down the last couple of years, but historically a very, very good program.
Mm-hmm. They always do reasonably well at the junior nationals. Of course, yep. Ohio always does extremely well at the junior nationals. Central
Michigan in the MAC has a good program as well, and Michigan State will usually get their nose in the mix, too.
And what's really interesting, you mentioned Central Michigan. Heffernan has committed to Central Michigan.
Way.
Yeah, so he's wrestling a Michigan wrestler now.
The Chippewas. Most MAC schools no longer have wrestling. Kent State has a very solid program. Dustin Kilgore, top-ranked wrestler in the nation at his weight, wrestling for the Golden Flashes. Ohio University, a good program as well. 14-7 is the score with 1:30 remaining. Heffernan has had all the takedowns. Hankey has had all the escapes.
Just a little history. Kent State had one of the top wrestling teams in the country back when I was in high school. Back in the 50s and 60s. And they hosted the NCAA finals in 1962. Harry Huska wrestled as a sophomore that year and lost in the finals. I believe that was his only college loss.
Oh. Heffernan not given the takedown at the edge of the mat there, but he's up 16-8. He's controlled this match from the opening whistle. Of course, college wrestling, just the sheer number of programs that that participate at the NCAA level has shrunk dramatically over the past 15 to 20 years.
Sadly.
Like many other collegiate sports. Heffernan trying for another takedown here.
Score 16-8 with 30 seconds left in the match.
And make it 18 now as Heffernan gets another takedown. And he'll try for another before the match comes to its conclusion. He's got 22 seconds to work with. In on a shot, changes to a double. And you can tell that Henke just has nothing left for this match. And Heffernan trying to absolutely. And he'll get another takedown out of bounds. I think that might have been a bit of a quick call. Heffernan's hands weren't even locked around his opponent. But Henke wasn't going anywhere, so maybe that's what the referee had in mind. 22-10 is the score with 5 seconds remaining, and Heffernan looks like he's going to ride this one out. And indeed he will.
Second match in a row we've seen a lower seed win the championship. Colin Heffernan by a score of 22-10 over Nate Henke of Michigan, the state of Michigan, Richmond High School.
At 145 pounds, Edgar Bright from St. Ed's. Edgar was a 3-time state placer at St. Ed's. He graduated in 2013, and initially he started in the fall at Pitt. He is no longer wrestling at this time. Max Rorschkoff from West Holmes. Max was a 3-time state placer with a combined high school record of 148 and 21. He finished his senior year in 2013 with a record of 41 and 2. Max wrestled at North Carolina State, qualifying twice to the NCAA championships. Interestingly enough, he is currently training in MMA in Las Vegas.
Teammate wrestling here, Edgar Bright.
So at 145 pounds, Ryan, we have another exception to the 1-2 seed criteria. We have a number 3 seed and a number 4 seed. Number 3 seed, and these are both seniors, also from St. Ed's, Edgar Bright. Took second in the state last year. His opponent, number 4 seed, Max Rorschkoff, I believe it is, from West Holmes High School, a senior, took third in the state at 138.
And Bright has been runner-up each of the last 2 years at the state tournament. Rorschkoff appears to have the longer arms and trying a shot from outside. 30 seconds gone here in the first period, and unlike the last match, nothing doing on the scoreboard.
Rorschkoff was the runner-up last year here at the M.I.T. tournament at 138 pounds. And of course, St. Ed's didn't wrestle in this tournament last year, but thankfully they're back.
Bright gets the takedown there near the out-of-bounds line, so he'll start from the top position. Rorschkoff 11-0, Bright 9-1 on the season. Bright committed to Pitt. Rorschkoff going to NC State, be a part of the Wolfpack. Bright stalking his opponent after Rorschkoff gets the escape. Now you can't shoot from that far outside against a guy as good as Edgar Bright and hope to come away with a takedown. Now he tries a roll through, and Rorschkoff winds up again the bottom man, down 4-1. .30 seconds remaining here in the first period. And out of bounds they go. Bright, the second of 3 in a row for Lakewood St. Ed's. Heffernan, we just saw. Bright, and then in the next 152-pound weight class, another St. Ed's wrestler, Marcus Shadell, top seed. And then later on, Dominic Abinator at 182. And the St. Ed's heavyweight. He'll compete in the...
That's Ralph Nichols. Just a junior.
Ed's hasn't always had great heavyweights. First period comes to a close. 4-2 is the score. Bright on top. We did have a heavyweight many years back, last name Terabenic.
Stephen Terabenic.
Was in the early to mid-90s.
Exactly. I helped coach him on the Greco team, junior Greco team.
Bright quickly to his feet, and potentially dangerous is the call there. Roshkoff bought himself that one, just taking his feet off the ground. That's an automatic. Terabenic came with the Lakewood St. Ed's B team to the West Liberty Salem tournament in either 1993 or 1994. He had an injury that year that kept him off the mat for much of the season, so he's getting his feet wet a little bit. West Liberty Salem, the home of the Dernland family. I'm think of how many state championships between the lot of them. Tim had 3 of them.
Back in that same era. Yeah.
And Tim, I don't know if he is still a coach at Pitt, but was coaching for a while at Pitt, where Edgar Bright is committed to do his college wrestling. Nice switch by Bright. He's out. 6-2, he leads this match. Minute 20 left in the second period. Dernland's had a barn on their property. They'd work out after practices. They'd invite anybody that would want to come. And I tell you, Tim was one of the nicest guys off the mat that I have ever met. But you better not get a takedown on him in practice. You're going to pay for it for the rest of the day. Under a minute now, 6-2 the score. Bright on top of Roshkoff. Both men wrestling down near the mat, trying to play low man wins here. Roshkoff has been aggressive, but not in a way that's been effective for him. They go out of bounds and back to the center. He's tried some shots from way outside that Bright has easily turned away. Being aggressive is good, but you got to be properly aggressive. Bright applying the pressure now.
Roshkoff beat the #1 seed in the weight class in the semifinals.
Handily.
By score 12-3.
Out of bounds again, 8 seconds remaining. Still 6-2 in the second period. Bright on top.
The #1 seed was also from Richmond in Michigan. Named it Devin Sketska.
Well, I tell you what, those Michigan wrestlers are playing havoc with you, aren't they?
They sure are. I wish they'd change the spelling of their last names.
Bright beat Jeff Hosnack of CVCA, the second seed in the semifinals. You wrestle here in the third with an escape for Roshkoff and a 6-3 score in favor of Edgar Bright.
Yeah. So, in fact, these two wrestlers beat the #1 and #2 seed in order to get into the finals.
Devin Skotska was a returning state champion from Michigan as well, in addition to being the 1 seed in this weight class.
He's one of the few state champions who didn't make the finals. I believe there are 2 of them.
Is there a heavyweight, maybe? Bright working the head now. No, it's not heavyweight. Minute remaining.
Oh.
Bright well in command. Not much action here in the third. Now Bright drops down to a shot. He's deep in on it. Trying for the finish. Roshkoff nearly turned it into a counter takedown, but instead they go out of bounds with nothing doing. Down to 35 seconds remaining now in the match. Bright doesn't have to take any chances here, up 3 points. He did see an opening and attempted for it. But as Roshkoff nearly turned it into 2 points of his own, I think Bright's going to be a little bit more cautious, although he has another opportunity here and takes the shot. Nice bow down into a takedown for Edgar Bright.
8-3 with 10 seconds to go. Well,
that may ice the match there. White lines up to the right side of his opponent, slightly unusual. Most wrestlers will line up on the left. Down to 5 on the clock. It looks like Edgar Bright is going to maintain the lead here, and that is your match, 8-3, the victory for Edgar Bright, your champion at 145 pounds. As Matside with Bob Dealey covers the state championship, nothing is guaranteed. We've seen Edgar Bright on the mat twice in a row now. He's come up as a runner-up. I think he's probably hungry for a championship this year as a senior.
At 152 pounds, we have Marcus Scheidel from St. Ed's. Marcus finished second in the state tournament in his junior year, which was 2012, and his senior year in 2013. He started at Columbia University in the fall of 2013 and was an NCAA his first year that season, as well as the following 2 seasons, finishing 41-10 in 2015-16. Columbia's program was temporarily suspended, so I'm not sure what Marcus did during the 2016-17 season. His opponent, Lucas Marcelli from Massillon Jackson. Lucas was an outstanding wrestler at Massillon Jackson. Tragically, he was killed in a plane crash in 2014 while a student at Case Western Reserve. He was studying biology and pre-med. Very sad that his life was cut short.
It's a senior year, right? Well, we have 2 more seniors coming up at 152 pounds, Ryan. And again, a number 1 and a number 2 seed. Number 1 seed from St. Ed's, Marcus Scheidel. He was a runner-up last year in the state tournament at 145 pounds. His opponent from Jackson, Massillon Jackson High School, that is, Lucas Marcelli. He's a senior. He was 6th in the state last year in that same weight class, 145 pounds.
Marcelli in the gray singlet with the purple trim. Scheidel in the St. Ed's black. He's in on a shot and in on a takedown right from the get-go and looking for more. Got a 1 count from our referee, but nothing else. Is Marcelli able to bridge out of a very dangerous situation?
Again, we haven't seen any pins in the championship finals yet.
Came close. Nate Boggs in a scramble wound up in a 5-point move with an airlock on Sean Williams in the first period. Could not seal the deal, though Boggs did go on to win the match and earn the championship. Scheidel working the head here of Marcelli. Now a roll through. Nothing much coming of it. And now we've got a referee stoppage here. Must have been a potentially dangerous situation. Indeed, there's the signal. Like Marcelli had a bit of a limp going back there to the set.
That was strange. So it's 2-0, and 1:07 left in the period.
Ball start on Scheidel. Along with Eric Loveman, I'm Ryan Mitchell here on Matside with Bob Dealey. You can catch us on the Education Channel in Greater Columbus, Channel 20 on WOW and Insight, Channel 25 on Time Warner. Wednesdays, 9 to 11 p.m., and on Saturdays and Sundays from 5 to 7. We're here at the Medina Invitational Tournament. 152-pound championship final. Lakewood St. Ed's Marcus Scheidel wrestling Massillon Jackson's Lucas Marcelli. And with Ed's winning the last 2 matches, you got to think that locks up their championship. Massillon Perry was trying to run him down.
They had a 29-point lead coming into the finals.
Could have not been able to pick up the action on the outside mats, but the championship is where you can earn your most points. Now, there haven't been any, as you said, there's no pins. There haven't been many bonus points awarded here on the championship match.
Just a couple, I think.
So Shadell's going to finish the first period with a lead up 2-0 as the whistle blows.
No escape.
Marcelli came close there to scoring at the end, but couldn't quite do it. And Shadell is wringing out the hand. Those fingers taped there. He has choice. He'll take bottom. No first move for Shadell. Waiting for his opponent to move and looking to adjust.
Marcelli is undefeated this year with a 10-0 record. Shadell has lost 3 matches, but they've wrestled some pretty tough opponents.
Yeah, the records, when you come to the end of the season, sectionals, districts, and state, and you see the records, there are several guys maybe with no or 1-2 losses coming in. You think, wow, that's pretty good. And you see these St. Ed's wrestlers, some of them have 3, 5, 7 losses on the year. You think, well, that's not all that impressive. But then you think about the meat grinder that they wrestle throughout the course of the season. Yeah. And some leeway has to be given.
They'll wrestle. They are ranked number 2 in the country to Blair Academy, a perennial number 1 team.
Yeah, Blair took care of the Ironman team tournament pretty handily near the beginning of the season. After the escape for Shadell, he's up 3-0, looking for more here, in on a low single. Elevates, and now looking to switch to the double leg, but Marcelli does a nice job countering. Into a bit of a scramble here. It's still an advantage for Shadell. And he will eventually earn that takedown, up 5-0 with 45 seconds left in the second period, and we've got some blood on the mat. So the blood has been cleaned up. And Marcus Shadell is still on top, leading 5-0 with 40 seconds remaining. Marcelli with a switch, and getting switch reversal. Scoreboard reads 7-0, should be 5-2.
There you go.
Still says 7, and there's the adjustment, 5-2.
Shadell, the number 1 seed from St. Ed's, has committed to Columbia University. He took 7th in the Ironman, and that's it.
Well, you know, if you get a even partial scholarship to wrestle in high school, you're a pretty good athlete. If you get into Columbia, you got the brains behind you as well.
Oh, absolutely. Tough school.
They did not return my calls. Marcelli trying to ride this period out, but he's in a world of hurt. Shadell almost put him on his back. He's given the escape here. Make it 6-2, 10 seconds remaining. And now both wrestlers back to their feet as the clock ticks down. The second period will come to a close with a 6-2 lead for Marcus Shadell. Marcelli takes bottom. That's where he's been able to score his points so far. And another caution, that time on Shadell. That's his second. The next will be points. You get 2 allowances for cautions for false starts or mislining up on a start. Only 1 warning for stalling before the points begin to accrue. Shadell got to a sit out, but wasn't able to move one side to the other. And Shadell will kick him out to start neutral. And more blood on the mat. Shadell's nose plug has been saturated, and so they're going to have to take care of him. Back to action here, neutral wrestling. After some more blood cleanup. 6-3 is the score. Marcus Shadell of Lakewood St. Ed's with the lead on Lucas Marcelli of Massillon Jackson. Jackson in the gray singlet, Ed's in the black. Shadell in on a deep shot again, and he will finish. And again, the nose plug comes out. And they'll have to refill. Back to action here on the center mat of the Medina Invitational Tournament, 152-pound championship. Marcus Scheidel has been battling a nosebleed as much as he's been battling Lucas Marcelli. Marcelli gets an escape with 50 seconds remaining, and Scheidel right back in on a shot. He's up 8-4 here in the third. Still hanging on to the single leg as the wrestlers roll backside over. 35 seconds remaining and a stalemate call. And more blood time. Time will start to become a factor here. You get 5 minutes of blood time, and then 1 minute and 30 seconds of injury time on top of that if you need to use it. I'm not sure where we're at on the blood clock right now.
Used to be unlimited blood time, but they changed that rule.
Yep. So things have been cleaned up here for Marcus Scheidel. Wrestling from neutral, up 8-4 with 30 seconds left in the match. I think he'd try and keep his face out of the action as much as possible here to keep any more blood time from happening. 20 seconds remaining in the match. St. Ed's looking for their third consecutive champion of the 3 they've had in the finals. Colin Heffernan won it at 138. Edgar Bright at 145, and here at 152, Marcus Scheidel is hanging on to a leg, and he's going to hang on for the 8-4 victory. And he is your 2012 just barely Medina champion.
And we're halfway through the finals, Ryan.
Yeah.
7 more matches to go.
At 160 pounds, Jared Spahn from New Lexington. Jared, during his senior year, which was 2012-13, went 48-5. He didn't wrestle in the state tournament due to an injury. In 2013, he took a redshirt year at Kent State. He competed at Kent State between 2014 and 2017. Also in 2017, he was named an academic All-American. His opponent at 160 pounds was Logan Marchecki from Detroit Catholic Central. Prior to his senior year in 2014, Logan verbally committed to Indiana University. He was projected to compete at Indiana at 165 pounds, and I believe he pursued a bachelor's degree in business management.
Got another situation coming up at 160. Again, we're one of the rare matches where we don't have a 1 and a 2 seed. It's a 3rd and 4th seeds matching up in the finals. We're going to be looking at a number 3 seed, Gerald Sprawn of New Lexington. He's a senior. And his opponent is a former state champion, not last year, but the previous year from Detroit Catholic Central, Logan Marsicki. He's just a junior.
Marsicki in the blue singlet, Spahn in the orange.
Marsicki won the state championship 2 years ago at 130 pounds. Now he's up to 160.
And he's in deep on his shot, some rolling around though, and it's going to be Spahn who comes out on top of that exchange. Gerald Spahn, 21-1 already this season. That is a lot of matches. Far more than most of the other competitors.
Yeah, that's a lot for this early in the season.
Trevor Zadebski of Detroit Catholic Central had 17 matches under his belt coming into this tournament. Marsicki with a dozen. Teammate Drew Garcia, who will wrestle in the next finals at 170, also has 17 matches. And 22, I think, is the high water mark of the competitors. A couple of guys have 19. Other Lexington wrestlers as well. Some teams like to load their schedule up early with a lot of tournaments before you get into the dual meet season. Rules changed a few years back, requiring teams to wrestle a certain number of duels, the thought being that will increase viewership and participation in the sport of wrestling in Ohio. I'm not sure if it's had the desired effect or not, but generally the number of matches that a wrestler will have by the state tournament has crept back. There was a move in the mid-late 90s to start dual meet tournaments where teams could get 10 matches in a weekend, and wrestlers would come into the state tournament 50, 55 matches on the season. No longer with the rule changes. Marsasicki with an attempt to go behind there from the snap, unable to score. After his escape, it's 2-1, Spawn with the lead. 35 seconds left in the first period. See that heavily wrapped left leg there for Spawn. Doesn't seem to be affecting his movement at all. 10 seconds left. Couple of wrestlers flashing in front of the camera there for the third place bout.
A little out of bounds.
Period comes to an end. 2-1, Spawn with the lead. And he will have choice of position to begin the second period and will take down.
Spawn's record last year was 48-7. Marsasicki was 36-7.
So 48-7, there's your 55 match guy.
Yep.
New Lexington's figured out a way to still fill up the schedule and keep the duels in there as well. A lot of teams are doing a super quad in the middle of the week to sort of fill the dual meet requirement, but still get 2 or 3 matches.
3-1 with the escape.
Marsasicki trying to remedy that here. He's got a high single. This is how things happened the first time. There was a bit of a scramble.
Ties up the match.
Spawn got the better of the first exchange. Marsasicki gets this one. And again, some
wild scramble
wrestling there.
Wild scramble.
They go out of bounds, still tied 3-3. Spawn, the 4th seed, wrestled only one other seeded wrestler. That was Bruno Millen of Perry, the 5th seed. Top seed DJ Blair was beaten in his first match by Tony Didion of Perkins. Didion wound up in the semifinals against Spawn. Spawn dispatched him with a tech fall, 15-0.
And I gave out bad information based on some bad outputs here. Spawn is the 4th seed. Marsasicki is the 3rd seed. I'm sure we get that straight.
Marsasicki gets to his feet, escapes, and he's up 4-3 here with just under a minute remaining in the second period.
Turn your bell for the outstanding wrestling and outstanding coach. Head scoring table. As soon as you made your decision.
Medina Invitational Tournament. Historically in Ohio, one of the best holiday tournaments in the state. With the way Christmas fell, oftentimes this is a midweek tournament.
Exactly.
Another scramble situation. Nobody scores off of it. Today they're competing with the Brecksville tournament, also here in the Northeast Ohio region. Another dandy of a tournament. Christmas this year was on a Tuesday, so this is usually a Wednesday, Thursday tournament.
Absolutely.
Can't have that. Second period comes to a close. Spawn up 4-3 in a match that's featured a lot of rolling around, but not a lot of traditional wrestling.
A couple of lanky 160-pounders.
Yes, indeed. Now Spawn from New Lexington. Coming up later on, we've got a couple of wrestlers from Lexington. Old Lexington, traditional Lexington. Lexington proper. Marsasicki with a nice single leg, but again, Spawn begins the scramble. He's got the ankle. Can he fend off the takedown? Boy, some funk going on here. There goes Spahn, comes up and has the takedown.
That's wild. Wild scrambling.
Boy, with 1:30 left in the match, it's now 6-3, Spahn on top. That's a guy that's just selling out for his offense. Some folks love those scramble situations. Jeff Jaggers, or Jay Jaggers, as he became to be known for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Former wrestler at Bedford St. Peter's Chanel.
Two-time NCAA champ.
Great scrambler.
Yeah.
On a side note, this is the last year for Bedford St. Peter's Chanel. They will be closing the school after this year, a storied wrestling program. Enrollment has gone way down over the past several years, and Spahn with another takedown here, more traditional this time.
Gave up the escape, and
scoreboard says 6-4. I'm not sure that's correct.
Well, I think he gave up an escape and then got a takedown.
He was up 6-3, then gave up the escape to make it 6-4.
I think it was 4-3.
That's his third takedown there. He had the first takedown and has had two here in this second period. So that scoreboard, he's also had at least one escape, I believe. Now the coaches don't seem upset about it, so I guess we'll go with 6-4.
The way this match is going, anything could happen, though.
Anything's possible. 15 seconds remaining in it. Spahn trying to win a championship. He's a senior from New Lexington. Neither of these wrestlers placed in their respective state tournaments last year. Just the second final, and the second of only two finals where neither wrestler was a state placer from last year. And there is the victory for Gerald Spahn. 6-4 is your final score.
And again, a lower seeded wrestler, fourth seed over a third seed.
Yes, indeed.
And probably the most closely contested match we've seen this evening.
The most exciting wrestling we've seen, I believe, with the positions the guys found themselves in.
A little bit of funk there.
Yes, indeed.
At 170 pounds, Drew Garcia from Detroit Catholic Central. Drew was a three-time Michigan champion with a combined record of 93-1 his junior and senior year. Currently, he is wrestling at Cornell University as a senior, and I believe he is studying agriculture and life science. Drew's opponent is Luke Kramer from Oak Harbor. Luke graduated in 2013, winning a state title that year. His combined high school record was 139-40. In 2014, he went to Ashland. He redshirted in 2015, and he is a current member of the 2017-18 wrestling program. If you recall from my previous flashbacks, his brother Jake also wrestled for the Eagles. At 182 pounds, we have Dominic Abanadar. I have not pronounced that right the last two times I've talked about him, from St. Ed's. Dominic was a three-time high school champion, graduating in 2013 from St. Ed's. He was a captain of the University of Michigan's wrestling team, as well as a three-time NCAA qualifier. He graduated in 2017 with a bachelor's in sociology. At 182 pounds, his opponent was Travis Linton, from Rootstown. Travis was a state champion his junior and senior year. He had an outstanding 49-2 record his senior year in 2014. According to his Facebook page, he studied at Notre Dame College. His brother also wrestled for Notre Dame College.
Ryan, at 182 pounds here at the Medina Invitational Tournament, we have another matchup of number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. We have a senior from St. Edward, Dominic Ebenator. He's ranked number 2 in the nation and has committed to Michigan, University of Michigan. His opponent is Travis Linton from Rootstown in in this northeastern Ohio area. Travis is just a junior. Dominic was a state champion last year and the year before here in Ohio. Linton took third place in the state championship as a sophomore.
Well, Abinator pushed the action early on and nearly had a takedown, but Linton having none of that, scrambling here for a takedown of his own. Scramble action here, plenty of room on the mat.
This is fun.
Now Abinator in a bit of an advantageous position. He's got his opponent on his hips. Linton third last year, 170 pounds in the state tournament. And now Abinator in far superior position. Can he secure the takedown on the edge? Not yet.
No, I guess you're right.
And not at all.
Really?
Well, I tell you what, Travis Linton isn't intimidated by that boxing at all.
No slouch, no.
Linton came in 13-2 on the year. Abinator just 5-0, was injured a bit at the start of the season. Linton beat Jacob Casper of Lexington, who was fourth last year in the state. Abinator again in on a shot. There's about 30 seconds left in the period.
Casper was undefeated. The wrestler that Linton defeated. He was undefeated with a 19-0 record.
Linton trying desperately to fend off the takedown. He's clinging to the ankle for dear life of Abinator. He's inside the leg, an awkward position. Abinator is going to, well, nearly secure the takedown. Linton continues. As the first period winds down, the clock will hit 0. And Travis Linton, after all that scrambling, he's the one that winds up with the points.
That's some of the most interesting scrambling we've seen. And we've seen a little bit of good scrambling, but that was pretty fascinating.
Abinator with the choice will begin the second period on bottom. And a quick sit out, and Abinator easily to his feet. And a shot from way outside. Linton caught the ankle. But Abinator now works a front headlock. And a little shuck throw by does Abinator. Steps over the leg, and now very close to the two. And a leg cradle situation here for Abinator. If he can get the side pressure, there could be back points, but the cradle is broken. That's the trouble with that. You've got to expose your hips enough to where it takes the pressure of the leg lock away. But now we'll see what Abinator can do from top position, up 3-2. Trying to look that head bar.
Kind of scrambling you usually see in the very lightweights.
Abinator trying some power wrestling here from the top, that leg in deep. Linton's no fool. He's not giving up on the wrist. He had a hold of it. He knows if he lets go, he's going to suffer this fate right here. That's a lot of torque on that shoulder socket. Abinator moving off now to a different type of ride out to the side with a 2-on-1.
30 seconds to go, and the score is just 3-2 in the second period.
Now back to barring the head. Well, Linton is strong, that's for sure. Down to 15 now, and a stalemate is called. Abinator unable to turn, and Linton doing his level best just to keep his shoulders from being torn out of the socket. Unable to rise to a base. But he's in a base now as they'll restart. Clock down to now 10 seconds. A deep head ball. Abinator tucks the wrist to the head. No points yet. 4 seconds left to try and get a count, but Linton powers his way back to his stomach and does not give up any back points.
So for all that scrambling, Ryan, the score is just 3-2 at the end of the second period.
Linton's going to take neutral here. And again, when you're only down 1 point and you're going into the third period, if you take down and you escape, you're tied, but you still need a takedown to win. Here, down, you're up a point, and if you can ride it out, that would be a victory.
And Abinator's a good rider, so I think this is a wise decision.
Yeah. Abinator with a snap into a shot. And now a rollout by Linton. They both bounds.
This is a fun one.
Referee is not going to award any points there, but we will have an injury time as there was quite a collision there near the out-of-bounds line. Linton lost his headgear, but says he's okay. Well, after an extensive medical evaluation, we're ready to go. Travis Linton took the worst of a collision heading out of bounds. He's down a point with 1:39 left in the match. 3-2, Dominic Abinator with the lead. Abinator of Lakewood St. Ed's. Linton from Rootstown.
Abinator, the state champion, has 4 pins coming into the finals. Linton has 2 pins and a tech fall.
Linton with a nice shot. Had a double leg. It got turned into a single leg, and now it's going to get turned into a takedown for Abinator. And maybe more. So it looked like he had that side cradle locked up, but gave up on it a little bit. And now Abinator's going to push him out of bounds and give an extra shove.
Crowd didn't like that too much.
No, they did not. Abinator's going to get a word from our referee here. Now with 1:04 left. Abinator looks like he wants to put the pressure on here. Now, Linton certainly looks like the more fatigued of the two. He's driving in here, and with a win, Abinator is a takedown is going to be awarded here for Linton. How about that? We got both coaches over here right now.
St. Ed's coaches don't quite agree with that call.
No, but I'm not sure I do either, because Abinator had a deep whizzer in there. It didn't look like control to me.
Unless they thought Abinator was fleeing the mat, perhaps.
Scoreboard reads 5-2 Abinator, but if that's a takedown,
should be 5-4.
Should be 5-4, but it looks like the takedown has been.
Well, since they have 2 referees, they may have.
Yeah, they must have discussed it and said no takedown.
Yeah.
I think that's the right call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Abinator now with some heavy hands, and Linton taking exception to it.
Without reading their minds, Abinator may have been a little bit, what can you say?
Well, he gave up the first takedown, and then Linton had a good deep shot. Linton clearly is not intimidated by wrestling a St. Ed's wrestler, and it looks like maybe Abinator wants to intimidate him a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say he was I'm not sure what the word is. He wasn't ashamed to be winning by a score of 3-2, but he might have felt he could do better.
Yep, he's up better now, 7-3 after a quick go behind. 23 seconds remaining.
When you're ranked second in the nation, you expect to win by bigger scores.
Absolutely.
Dominate.
Well, Linton is not rolling. He doesn't roll over here, fighting for all he's worth, and there's going to be a potentially dangerous call for the torque on the shoulder there.
And again, Linton is just a junior. Took 3rd in the state last year at 170. Abinator was the defending champion, a 2-time state champion, 160 pounds 2 years ago, 182, his current weight last year.
Abinator trying to run a half. Linton gets to his feet and is dropped on the side of his head. With 1 second left, and now the match is over. Abinator with a win by a score of 7-3, but if you look at his facial expression, he's not real happy with the result of that match, but he is your champion at 182 pounds in the Medina Invitational Tournament.
At 195 pounds, JoJo Tace from Maslin Perry versus Josh Lerner from Lexington. JoJo graduated in 2013. While at Maslin Perry, he was a 4-time state qualifier and a 2-time state champ. He was listed on the 2013 Ashland's football program, but I believe he transferred to Kent State. Currently, JoJo lives in Gahanna. His opponent, Josh Lehner. Josh was a two-time state champion with a high school record of 154-16. He attended the University of North Carolina, wrestling at 197 and also at heavyweight. Interestingly enough, JoJo and Josh also wrestled in the 2011 Medina Finals.
Is 195 pounds, and this is interesting. We're looking at two state champions from last year, both at 195 pounds, both in Ohio, and the reason that can happen is that one was Division I, one was Division II. In Division I, JoJo Tayse, T-A-Y-S-E, of Massillon Perry, was a state champion in Division I at 195 last year. Josh Lehner, Lehner, from Lexington, was state champion at 195 pounds in Division II. Both seniors.
On paper, this is our best finals matchup of the night. Two nationally ranked wrestlers. JoJo Tayse ranked 20th in the country. Josh Lerner 16th. He's committed to North Carolina. Tayse of Perry with just an 11-5 record, but much like St. Ed's, Perry wrestles a tremendously tough schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Lerner comes in 19-0.
Both had nearly identical records last year. Tayse at 42-2, Lerner at 43-3. 44-3.
Lerner in the white singlet with the purple Lexington down the side. Tayse in the white singlet with the black P on the back and the yellow bands around the leggings. So Lerner with the takedown up 2-0.
And he is the second seed. Tayse is the first seed.
And now a tilt.
Ooh.
Lerner's got some back points now, looking for more. This is not a good place for JoJo to be.
And he's the number one seed.
Look out, that is tight, that is deep, and there is a minute to fight. Not anymore.
The first pin of the tournament at a minute and...
Minute 11, call it minute 10.
Minute 11, yeah. Minute 10.
First pin of this finals round. Your champion, Josh Lerner of Lexington, with the pin over JoJo Tayse.
And interesting pounder.
Yeah.
195.
Excuse me, at 220 pounds, Evan Rossborough from Riverside, Michigan, versus Bailey Faust from Lexington. Evan graduated in 2013. During his freshman year at Lake Erie College, he was an All-American, finishing 8th in the Division II Nationals. He wrestled 4 years at Lake Erie College from 2014 to 2017. He studied while there occupational therapy. Bailey was a 2015 graduate of Lexington High School. At Lexington, he won 182 matches, and he placed twice in the OHSAA tourney. He started at West Virginia in 2016, and then I believe he transferred to Ohio University. I believe at this point he is a current sophomore at OU.
Ryan at 220 pounds here at the Medina Invitational Tournament. We have a number 1 seed and a number 3 seed. The number 1 seed from Riverside is Evan Rosebaugh, and he's a senior. His opponent is only a sophomore, Bailey Faust. He's the number 3 seed from Lexington.
So once again, a Lexington wrestler in a white singlet, and a Riverside wrestler also in a white singlet. The Lexington wrestler has that pirate on the back. That's Bailey Faust. Evan Roseborough from Riverside with the yellow knee pad on.
Yeah, those are the Lexington Minutemen.
That's right, not a pirate, my bad.
Similar.
I'm sure some of the Minutemen were pirates in their days.
So that's the second Lexington wrestler in a row
Yeah, Josh Leonard got the pin over JoJo Tays at 195, and that's an unusual circumstance.
Very, very unusual. It's the only pin of the tournament. Of course, you do tend to see more pins in the heavyweights, but those weren't heavyweights. Those were well-built heavyweights.
And both of those were returning state champions.
Yeah, exactly, both of them. Division 2 over Division 1. Second seed over first seed.
Roseboro in on a shot here. Turns the corner on it, looking for two, and he gets it on the out-of-bounds line. Now can he pull his man in for some back points? You can't get back points if your shoulders are out of bounds. And now enough supporting points out of bounds that the referee will put a stop to that. And Roseboro will be on top. He's going to Lake Erie College. Bailey Faust, a sophomore, has plenty of time to decide.
Roseboro took fourth place in the Ironman tournament earlier this season. He has a 10-2 record. Faust has a 19-0 record. Pretty good for a sophomore at this weight.
Yes, indeed. And now he's got a tie match here with a reversal for Faust. He's now on top, and the score's tied at 2 as we wind down to 15 seconds remaining in the first period.
We haven't awarded the back points.
No back points were given.
2-2.
And so as the first period ends, we're going to be tied at 2 apiece. Penultimate match of the night here on Matside with Bob Dealer. I always love that word. Fancy way of saying second to last. Seems like it should mean more than that, but it doesn't.
Yeah, we're winding down. Only one pin so far in the tournament, in the finals, I should say, championship finals.
Roseboro on bottom tries to roll his way to an escape or reversal. It doesn't work. Excuse me, rather, Faust on the bottom. Roseboro on top. Faust had success with a roll reversal in the first period. Faust flattened out, carrying all 220 pounds of Evan Roseboro. Riverside wrestler, fourth place in the state a year ago. Fourth here at Medina a year ago. Not much action out to the side there for Roseboro, but he's been able to keep Faust flat on the mat.
Faust from Lexington, the sophomore, has 4 pins in the tournament. He's pinned every opponent.
He's had a dandy so far. He's got a good workout partner in Josh Leonard in the wrestling room every day.
For sure. 2 of those pins were under a minute. One was 36 seconds, and then in the quarterfinals, he had a 20-second pin over the 6th-seeded wrestler in the tournament.
He's not spent a ton of accumulated mat time over these 2 days here at Medina High School.
And he pinned the second seed wrestler, Hunter, in 5 minutes and 1 second.
We had a stall call there on the top man, so Roseboro's been warned. Faust is back on bottom. Still 2-2, 26 seconds left in the second period of the 220-pound championship match. Faust tries again for a roll. Now this time a tilt for Roseboro. Can he expose the shoulders? He gets a 1 count. Now he's got a 2 count. And now he's got the full complement of 5, and that'll give him 3 back points. He was in a spot of trouble there for a minute, but he's able to keep up on top, and he'll finish out the period up 5-2.
Almost pinned himself.
Yes, he did. A lot of danger when you get these big eaters out there and you start rolling around and the bodies get sweaty. Tough to hang on. Tough.
So Roseboro takes a 5-2 lead at the end of the second period.
Caution on the top wrestler there. Faust warned for improper lineup position. Not much of a first move by either wrestler. Faust has got to do something here in this period. As you said, he's acquitted himself very well on the top position, earning 4 pins so far.
Oh, look at this. It's pretty slick for a sophomore.
Roseboro trying for the reversal here. Faust is in a bad neighborhood. There's the reversal. I'm not sure about that reversal without the back points there.
That doesn't really have control.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is more of a neutral position, but the reversal was awarded. Now it's fully in effect, and Faust will wrestle from the bottom. Down 7-2. A 2-on-1 and another tilt attempt by Roseboro. Didn't have the hips in tight enough to score the points. As is often the case in these big two-day tournaments. Here's a roll through. Could not stick his man, and now Faust is on his back. You get towards these last couple of weights, a lot of folks head for the door. But this has been an exciting match.
Yes, it has.
Boy, Faust gives up 2 more back points, but he's lucky it wasn't more. 9-2, Roseboro on top. Top seed at 220 pounds. Leading by 7 with 25 seconds left to go in the match. Looking for another tilt. Heavyweights coming up next. A lift and bringing back down his man. 10 seconds left as the clock stops. Looks like, barring something really crazy, Roseboro is going to win this one.
Leading 9-2 with 5 seconds.
And that indeed will be your final score. 9-2, Evan Roseboro of Riverside wins the Medina Championship over Bailey Faust from Lexington, a sophomore, just suffered his first loss of the season.
At heavyweight, we have Ralph Nichols from St. Ed's. Not too much information on Ralph. He graduated in 2014. He wrestled Jake Moore of Rootstown. Jake was 40-2 as a senior and a state champion. Also, he was the class valedictorian. Jake wrestled 4 years at Princeton University at heavyweight and at 197.
Season.
Which brings up our heavyweight match. 285-pounders. We're going to look at the number 2 seed against the number 4 seed. They defeated the number 1 and the number 3 seeds to make it past the semifinals. We're looking at a senior, number 2 seed from Rootstown, Jake Moore, took 4th in the state last year at 220 pounds. His opponent, Ralph Nichols from St. Ed's, in the black singlet, is just a junior. Jake Moore has a 14-2 record this year. Ralph Nichols 9-4. But again, they defeated the number 1 and the number 3 seeds in the semifinals to make it into the finals.
Moore 5th at the Ironman. Nichols did not place. Last match of the evening here at the Medina Invitational Tournament. The greatest show in wrestling. Nice shot there by Nichols. But I tell you what, those heavyweights, the guys who can shoot and get underneath, they can get in there, but it's awful hard to keep those powerful hips and thighs in toward your body to finish. Both of these guys look like pretty athletic heavyweights.
Yes, they do.
Moore has the size advantage.
They move pretty fast.
Now he's in trouble. Time is called here. I don't know what we had here. Injury time right from the get. Now Nichols had the corner, and then all of a sudden it looked like Moore just sort of stopped.
Yes.
And I don't know if the injury happened.
He must have said something to the official.
Must have been, because no takedown was awarded. A win for Ralph Nichols by injury default. Jake Moore injured his shoulder and unable to continue. An anticlimactic ending to the Medina Invitational Tournament.
Yeah, we saw
In. So, Eric, we had ourselves a finals here at the M.I.T. that saw a lot of close matches, some widespread margins, only one pin, and a bit of a strange ending there with the injury default. But they've been doing this tournament here for a lot of years, and the wrestling is always fantastic.
It is good. We didn't see any slouches in the finals. Not a whole lot of surprises. Some top-seeded wrestlers tended to win most of the matches. There were a couple of exceptions. One unseeded wrestler was a champion, and that was a big surprise.
Yeah, Nate Boggs won the 132-pound championship, an unseeded wrestler. He had the big move in the match. It was a 5-point move from a scramble, and that was good enough for the win. But a lot of top seeds who wound up winning, and some very hotly contested matches, and overall a pretty good day of wrestling.
Yes, exactly, and nice to have St. Ed's back in the tournament.
And of course, they, as you might expect, they turned out to be the team champions. They put 5 in the finals, and all 5 came away as champions.
Yep. And
What do here, Cliff? So that'll put a bow on it here from the Medina Invitational Tournament. Again, you can watch Matside on Columbus Cable Television, 5 to 7 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, 9 to 11 on Wednesdays. Education Channel 20 on WOW and on Insight, and Channel 25 on Time Warner Cable. A great day of wrestling here at the Medina Invitational Tournament. Eric Loveman, thank you so much for being with us.
It's been a pleasure working with you, and good luck again with the Columbus Clippers.
Well, thank you very much. For Eric Loveman, this is Ryan Mitchell. You've been enjoying Matside with Bob Dealey.